Welcome back to SimCity 2000 Network Edition. Now, in a recent vlog entry, I mentioned that I had made a critical mistake toward the end of the first episode. And what that mistake was right here. This number here, which this time you should actually be able to read because I've increased the bit rate of the recording. I had inadvertently left it at a low bit rate that is used for live streaming, and I'm not live streaming this. This is just using that software to record with. And you see here that this number has a negative value. That means I am not gaining that much per year. I am losing that much per year. So I need to correct that before I let things go very far. And let's see, I have gone ahead and paused the simulation here, so I'm going to unpause and go back to turtle mode for now. And we'll close the budget and see what we can do to fix this budgetary problem. Actually, I need the budget back open. First thing I'm going to do is add 2% to the tax rate. And I'm going to cut these funding values down to 50% for the time being. Over time, I will be able to raise them back up. The one budget that I'm not going to cut anything off of is transportation, because if you cut the budget on that, it's going to cost you, because that's the one that will... Cutting the budget on transportation will cause your roads to turn into crap. You start developing major potholes and big sections where you have to rebuild road and so on, and that's a disaster. Right. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sell this little bit of land here. Yes, it means I will be buying it back again sometime, but that's okay. I don't need it right now. Now let's have a look at our budget estimate. It's minus 51 right now, but we'll see. Let's have a look at our city information. Most specifically, population. 891, 1112, 1415, and 2182, and our population is 1290. The graph here, let's see. Yeah, city size right here. Residence number is the green line. It's maintaining pretty much. Commerce is down here, slowly on the increase, and industry is this line here, which is definitely on the increase. This is over the last year. Let's hit this and show 10 years worth of progress. And you can see how that's gone. Population is pretty much kind of steady. We want it to be going up. Alright, neighbors, population information, health, average lifespan seems to be going down, education, sort of kind of level for right now. I expect it may take a little bit of a downturn. That's alright. And I'm going to leave that be it for now for there. And let's see. Oh. A few more squares to get rid of that I don't need right now. And I've decided, I kind of thought about this for a little bit, and I decided that what I'm going to do is to keep this from becoming incredibly tedious and whatnot, because there is a lot of time in this game where you're basically waiting for funding to come in. And that can be a pain. So, let's see, I'm going to look at the budget one more time. Yeah, some of this is going to have to go for now. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bulldoze the hospital. Population may eventually start demanding one again, but that's all right. And I'm just going to go ahead and rezone that area as dense residential. And now what I'm going to do as soon as my budget, I do believe my budget is going to turn positive now, because, you know, especially when the next year rolls around and the hospital is not part of the budget anymore. I'm going to pretty much just kind of let things ride as they are. Put some wires across here so these things get power. I'm going to let things ride for about, I'm thinking probably 5 years or so at a time. And what I'll do is I'll just make cuts, and I'll come back in 5 years in the future after having not really done anything but just kind of monitor stuff and let some funding accumulate. And every 5 years we'll see about what we're going to be doing. So, I'll see you in 5 years. Alright, here we are. It is now 1925, January. And the city looks like it's doing pretty good here. There's a few, like here and here and here, abandoned buildings. But generally speaking, the city looks pretty decent. We've got our city information here. Population is up to 1740, and so we're doing good there. City growth is all right, and let's go ahead and put this on a 10-year scale. Yeah, we're looking good. City growth. Residents are down just a little bit. Commerce is on an upswing. Industry is doing reasonably level, so we're not doing bad there. Bring up the budget and see how we're doing there. Budget is now positive by $92 a year. And let's see, our advisors, tax advisor has no advice. People are asking for a pollution ordinance. We'll revisit that in a moment. We don't have any bond advice. Police coverage is at an all-time, crime is an all-time low, so having the police coverage at 50% budget is fine right now. Fire coverage is excellent, so 50% coverage there is fine. Hospital is a zero expense at the moment. Education, need more adequately funded colleges. Well, we'll see about that. Now the pollution ordinance, bring up the ordinances here. And let's see, pollution ordinance, if I check that, that'll cost $10 a year. So I'm going to go ahead and vote for that, propose that, and because this is a network edition, it'll actually come back in a minute here and ask me to vote on it. And of course it'll pass because I'm the only person playing this particular game. But that's the way it worked, is that you would propose an ordinance and everybody else playing would vote on it, and then it would pass or fail based on that, which was kind of cool. You know, it gave the game a much more interactive kind of feel. And that's one of the things that made SimCity 2000 Network Edition so good. It actually was, in my opinion, the very best version of SimCity that ever came out. Alright, I'm waiting for that ordinance to come up, and well, while I do, let's go ahead and buy some more land. So we need to expand. I think what I'm going to do, yeah, I'd say this $3,200 chunk of land will be good. Center on that, and get ready to expand the road down this way. I gotta watch my funding though. I really don't want to go very far below $4,000 of available funds. So once this is processed and out of escrow and paid for and so on, I will extend the road down here and start working on getting some more stuff zoned. We have a slight residential demand. Commercial is down. Industrial is pretty much even. So we'll start by adding residential. Okay, that's processed, all paid for and whatnot. So we'll just continue with the single straight road going out. Get some dense residential area here. This looks good. Now, one of the advisors was talking about colleges, so let's go ahead and see if we can't place a college. And I bet I can't put it there because it's the edge of the city. Yeah, okay. So I'll need to buy a little bit more land. here, because the college is a 4x4 item and it'll need that to fit there. So as soon as that's ready, I'll go ahead and do that. And let's see. College will cost me $1,000 to put down, so that's okay. Alright, peoples. Well, while I'm waiting for that, I want to look at the traffic report. No traffic advice. Okay. Very good. Let's see. I don't recall if I have bus terminals in here yet or not. Let's see. Let's get the query tool. Find out. That's residential. More commercial. Don't have any bus terminals. A bus depot would be a good idea. You know, get bus lines going, have some mass transit, because that will help keep traffic down. Go ahead and pop the college down. And, okay, we'll vote for this. They'll get their pollution ordinance. Run power to the college. Love that sound. I don't know why, but I do. I think it's cool. Alright, let's see. Residential demand is going up. Got areas zoned for it. They don't seem to be building just yet. I'm going to go ahead and zone some more right there across from the college. And another strip here right next to it. I didn't mean to zoom out. Alright, looks like we're going all right. Our budget, let's see, 101. Let's see what it looks like in February of 1926. We'll see there what it looks like. And then I think I'm just going to continue once again with letting things ride for another 5 years. Alright, the pollution ordinance passed. Big surprise. Alrighty. Check the budget. $46. It's positive, so we're good to go. I'm going to let this ride for another 5 years, and we'll be back. Okay, here we are at 1930. Let's have a look at our budget. And we've got $100 plus coming in per year, so we're good there. And I'm thinking it would be a good idea. See, I've been watching the traffic here. If I click on the road, 47 cars a minute there. 68 cars a minute there. 49 cars per minute there. So I think maybe it's a good idea to get started putting in bus stations. So I'm going to pop a bus station down right here. And let's see where we can put another one. Well, there's an abandoned building right there. So let's just bulldoze that. Put another bus station in here. And I'm going to bulldoze one more building here on the corner. And put in a bus station there. That should take care of the city's transportation needs. And right now the one thing that is up a little bit is industrial demand. So put in some dense industrial, and I'm going to put that, say, here. I'm leaving room between the industrial and the residential because I don't want them right up against each other. Alright, let's go ahead and string some wires over here so that this place is powered. And water supply is adequate. Looks good. All right. Looks like we're going all right here. Let's try the query tool now. 54 cars a minute, 29 cars a minute, 41 cars, 41, 30. Okay, that's better than it was. So I think we'll be doing okay there. And I think at this point, it's time to just kind of kick back and let things ride for another few years. The city has grown decently. Population, let's see. We're at 2,520 population. We're now the biggest area in the region. So we're doing good there. Some industry is popping in here. There will soon be a demand for more residential and probably even commercial. Well, we'll tend to that when the time comes. Meanwhile, we'll see you in 5 years or so. Okay, here we are, January 1935. Things are looking pretty good. Our bus terminal, let's see, we're getting about 600 passengers a day, 12 buses, 3 bus stations, and this is statistics for the whole system, citywide. So we're doing pretty good there. Our college is doing pretty good. Let's see, the fire, police department, 156 reported, 32 arrests, but the advisor on your budget, let's see, police advisor, crime is at an all-time low. Fire coverage is excellent. Education is adequate. We could use more hospitals. Well, you can wait a little bit on that. And this one's a real laugh. We have too many roads. Remove some to save on maintenance. Well, I'll tell you what, take a look here. We've got this one long road and this short road. I'm not removing any road. Because really, when it's all said and done, we will have one road. One main road and a few little short ones that extend over to neighboring towns. Okay, we have a commercial and an industrial demand, so I'm going to pop a line of commercial in here between the industrial and the residential. I like to have commercial between my industrial and residential to kind of serve as a little buffer area here. Because, as I understand it, the Sims here don't like living right next to industrial. They'd rather not. And it's better to have some commercial between the residential and the industrial. And I'm going to go ahead and pop another bit of dense commercial here. In this area, I will go ahead and make dense industrial to take care of that need. And we're good to go there. Let's see, how's our water system going? Oh, okay, it's connecting. This area hadn't been connected because there wasn't anything built in between. But that'll fix it. This here will fix itself as they build stuff in here. Because when they build anything, the underground plumbing goes in and connects the water system. And let's see, our query tool here. Our power plant is 26 years old out of its maximum 50. It's running at 37% capacity, so we're good there. And I think what I'm going to do this time around is I'm going to take about a 10 or 15 year leap here to just let the funds accumulate, because we've got 3102 available right now and we need 4,000 to replace that power plant. So I'm just going to kind of cruise here and let things go for a good 10 or 15 years. Make sure there's the money available to replace the power plant when we have to. And we'll see you then. All right, some time has passed. It is now February of 1950. Let's see, city information. Our population's at 2,570, kind of holding pretty much steady. And the budget is still positive, gaining about $55 a year, roughly speaking. It fluctuates a little bit up and down. The residential, commercial, industrial, they've been going up and down. Kind of, it's almost like there's a cycle to it. Almost a pattern as you right now. Commercial and industrial are way down. Residential is down a little bit, and then later on, in a year or two, they'll all have times when they're up. So, given that I have $4,169 in funds available, the power plant is due to be replaced in 9 years, I'm going to kind of let things ride until it's time to replace the power plant. What I'll do is I'll get up to that time, I'll come back in, replace the power plant, and then maybe see about putting in a hospital, because about 3 years ago there was a message in the status bar down here. People demand hospitals. And if you look at the budget advisor for hospital, they say we could use more hospitals. Well, considering we don't have any, I agree, we could use some hospitals. So I'm going to wait until the power plant is taken care of, and then get enough money to buy some land out here and pop down a hospital, this time to stay. And then after that, I will let this simulation cruise until around the early 1970s, and in the next episode we'll pick it up in the early 1970s and go from there. But for right now, I'm just going to cut back out and wait until it's time to replace the power plant. We'll see you then. All right, it is now January 1959, and we have a headline on the Times: old power plant might blow. Well, fortunately, I'm ready for that. Got the funds to replace it. It's at 50 years old, so I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and wait for it to blow, and when it does, I will replace it right away. There'll be a brief interruption in power, and then everything will smooth out. And I'm figuring it's probably going to blow right about December of 1960, or January 1960 is when it's going to blow. So got it ready and selected. So as soon as the old one blows, I can pop down a new one in its place, and everything will be good there. And yes, other forms of power are available. There is hydroelectric, oil, and gas power. But frankly, in my experience, the coal power plant is the best one to have. And it's blown. And now we've replaced it. And the power is blinking red and yellow here for a second until it gets back to operation. We're good to go. And now, let's see, $397 worth of funds available. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to de-zone an area right here. And I should, no, I don't need to clear it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put a park in right there. That is a good for morale kind of thing, and it also helps tourism and so on. And let's see, there is how much remaining? 247, and putting in a hospital costs 500. So what I'll end up doing is I'm going to wait until the $500 is available, or a little bit more, and I will de-zone another area here, because the residential and then the industrial and commercial demands have been down, as has the residential for the last 5 or 6 years. So I will de-zone an area here and put a hospital. That way I don't have to buy any more land to do it. And that'll be the way that goes. Let's see, our budget, $3 per year profit, so it's kind of on the slow side here. Our population, let's see, we're at 2,300. pretty much hovering where we have been. And let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to basically skip time ahead until the $500 for the hospital shows up. Once we've got that, I'll put the hospital in here, and then I'm going to put this thing into cruise mode until the 1970s. So I am now going to cut out, and I'll come back in when there is funds for the hospital. All right. This was actually a little something I didn't quite expect. It took until 1975 to accumulate the funds needed. Now, I'm going to go ahead and hit the zoning map, and I'm going to de-zone a 3x3 area here where the hospital will go. And I'm going to go ahead and build that. Well, that was loud. And now I'm going to try a little something else here. I'm going to take a residential section here and de-zone this area right here. And I'm going to rezone it as light residential, thinking that perhaps light residential might attract a wealthier class of resident that will then pay more in taxes and do the city's budget some good. Turn the zone map off, and we'll see how we're doing here. Okay, well, the hospital's just gotten started, so that's going to take a while. And our power plant is 15 years old, and with $73 left in the budget, there isn't going to be very much that can be done until that situation improves. And right now our estimated cash flow is like $11 for the year. Year to date, $26 come in, $11 left over after expenses. End of year estimate at 129. Not totally great, especially when you figure that it's going to be necessary to have that $4,000 again in 35 years. Let's see, we'll run some power lines across the road here. Make sure that stuff is powered until somebody builds in here. And what I'm going to do now is pretty much what I was thinking to do, only I thought honestly that I would be stopping at about 1970 or so. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to let the simulation run for 20 years to 1995, and at that point I will save it, stop it, and the next episode will start in 1995 and see how things are going then. Right now our current status is population 1,430. It's gone down quite a bit, and I'm hoping a bit with the light residential and having a hospital will help. Let's see, our budget advisors. Crime is still at an all-time low. Fire coverage is excellent. Hospitals are responsive and efficient. And education is adequate. And this doofus is still saying we have too many roads. Go figure. And this is now putting us at a deficit for the year. I certainly hope that doesn't continue. And if it does, I will probably just stop the simulation and save it and pick up in the next episode to see if we can't fix that problem. But we'll see. Things do sometimes tend to change at an unexpected rate. In the meantime, thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out of here.